If you're an amputee, you got a prosthetic leg, and you're interested in surfing or just having a beach leg, then this video is for you, because this is my surf leg. This is the leg I take to the beach 99% of the time. And the reason why it's my beach leg is pretty simple. I just made a foot and decided that that was gonna be my surf foot, and that's it. I designated this foot and this socket and everything to being a surf leg. But there's some things on this leg that I'm gonna give you some tips, which you can do as well, to help you with, like, if you get sand in your foot, whatever. So, and why I like aligned this whole setup differently while I'm wearing different liners. So let's start with the liner. The liner is very long. So if you can look at like the difference in the length of these, you can see on my thigh, this goes up higher on my thigh. Why is that important? Well, water's gonna go wherever water wants to go, and it's gonna try and go in your liner. And so the more contact that you have with the silicone liner to your skin, the better it is. And I prefer silicone liners for sweat and for water activities because it just has the best friction on your skin. And even if you get water on there, I literally can like just take this off real quick and like squeegee it out. Or while I got this on, there's gonna be barely any in here because the socket's tight, but I can just kind of like, you know, like squeegee it out, and it'll still have good friction on there. It's not gonna be like a slip and slide. So that's why I have this liner right here. Now also the trim lines are super low on this, and this was really good for me for getting into like a really deep squat. This foot, literally, it's like good for skateboarding and like surfing, like board sports, anything where I need to kind of like crouch and like pop up really quickly. So I have really low trim lines. Also pretty high ears right here, so it stays really comfortable around my knee to help prevent any knee injuries. The other thing is stainless steel pylon. So we want stainless steel pylon because we don't want things rusting. Now, what I would change if I could go back is I would change this locking device to be the same one as my normal walking leg right here. And this is called the Coyote pin locking device. So the Coyote lock, that's what I would do differently because this is metal, and I can't tell you, I've probably replaced this like every year, maybe once a year since 2017. I have to replace this lock here because it just gets stuck from the rust and it oxidizes. Now this pin as well, this pin system, it works great, but I would change it. I would go to the plastic, the pin locking, or the pin lock, just like this one that's on here. The other reason why I like the pin system is because it acts as like an extension for your bone. So it feels like you have a longer limb than you do because you have something poking out and it's still making connection and moving within the foot. So you can imagine now I just gained, you know, a few inches or whatever on my limb that's acting as a longer lever. The other thing as well is I could throw a sleeve over this. I could throw a sleeve over this one. It'd be better with this one because it's the Coyote lock, so it can still have some seal. This one doesn't, so it doesn't really matter if I have a sleeve over this. But what I wear is, I'm typically wearing a wetsuit. I live in California, so the water's cold. And the good thing about wearing a wetsuit over this, whether they're the like short john, where it's like the tank top and like shorts, that's like, you know, one connected piece, or if it's a full, you know, full wetsuit, full length, like arm sleeves and everything, legs down. Or this is what I do if it's really hot, is like I'll wear these board shorts, but you can buy from like O'Neill and stuff, like just the tights of the like neoprene tights that are wetsuit tights, and they're just shorts. So it'll go like to mid thigh or whatever. But the great thing about that is it goes right over the liner. And so water, if I'm wearing these board shorts, water's for sure getting in here and my leg's at risk of losing it. And I've lost a leg surfing before, and it's not fun. Luckily I had some friends to help me get it back to my car, but that's not cool. You know, losing your leg in the ocean and, man, giving it up. But so that's what I always do. I'm rocking this right here, and I'm rocking a wetsuit shorts underneath it. Now, I've gone wakeboarding, you know, like wake surfing, skating, you name it, even like the, what's it called? The chair and the surfboard with the foil underneath it, foil boarding. I've done those, and I just wore these board shorts, or like board shorts, and no neoprene like tights or anything, because I didn't know that I was gonna prepare for that either way. it didn't matter because I had this silicone liner that went up my thigh. And once I got up, I could like kind of adjust it like with one hand if I needed to, but for the most part, I didn't need to do it at all. And then if I got in the boat, I could take it off and let it, air out, dry off and stuff, throw it back on. So it was really good. Now, the foot, what I did is I dorsiflexed it. Dorsiflexion is when I take my foot and I go like this. That's dorsiflexion, ankle dorsiflexion. Ankle plantar flexion is pointing it. Now, if you wanna run like your sprinting legs and stuff, you're gonna typically plantar flex them because you're like essentially mimicking running on your toes. Even though you don't run on your toes, like you actually kind of run on the ball of your feet, but you get the point. Like you're using a spring. So if I wanted to make this a high performance foot, I would literally just plantar flex that thing so it's a spring. It's a more rigid spring. What I did is I dorsiflexed it because now that allows me to get into more shin flexion. That's gonna help me get in a lower squat for popping up on the surfboard. That's why I aligned this with more dorsiflexion. Really good for skateboarding too. The only thing is, if I straighten my leg and put it out, I'm landing on that heel. So I have to I had to remind myself as I'm like popping up to like land like crouched, instead of like pushing for the board. But usually that just happens like when I'm a little rusty surfing and stuff. Like I haven't been in a few years, so next time I go, which will be pretty soon here, I might do that. But it doesn't really matter because the whole thing is I want to be crouched and being able to like pump and stuff and like turn and maneuver the board. So I dorsiflexed it. Now this foot shell, you'll notice that it's cut way more than normal, right? And the reason I did this is because it's so much easier now to like flex this around and take it off, remove it, because this is the Rush foot. It's made out of fiberglass, and I'm not sponsored by this company at all. I'm actually sponsored by Oser, but this Rush foot here, I got before I was sponsored, and just, it was my designated surf foot still. But the thing is, this foot here, this foot shell was so hard to take off these Rush feet that I was like, dude, I gotta find a better way because I'm going surfing all the time. So I cut it really low, and I had a few feet that I tried this with. And because I cut it low, it was super easy to like pull the heel off and stuff and remove it and get sand out. And just it being really low cut like this, it's like a low profile sock. So when I shower off at the beach and I have my leg, I'm putting water in there and I'm just dumping it up, so much sand comes out. And it's so much easier because this is cut low profile. I bet you in the future, they'll start making more like low profile, like better surfing feet, or they'll make it like this. Like this is honestly the best setup, and Oser designed this pretty much like for surfing, like to remove it. So you got these buttons right here, and I got some grass in here, but now I got this foot that's removed. So you can imagine now, if there was any sand in here, it's just grass. If there's any sand in here, it'd be gone. So that's pretty nice. And it's just a button, clicking, which is pretty cool. So let me just get this back going. This is a very new product, this foot shell right here, which is super good for that reason, for sand, surfing, etc. But before that was available, what I did is I just cut it low, and I found that this worked really good. Another thing I did, which you can absolutely do, which 100% works even better, you drill some holes, like just a few holes, not too much, but like right in here, if you did like, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 holes right here on the bottom of the foot, where the foot's kind of like cambered like this. That way, after you put water in it and stuff, you swish it around, like you lift your leg upside down, you're at the beach, the sand comes off. So that's what I do with my surf foot. This is my surf foot, and it's just designated to it, but I have some a few things that I changed and modified specifically for surfing, like the liner, the ankle dorsiflexion, cutting the foot shell lower, and trim lines on the socket, and then stainless steel pylon. So let me know if you guys have any other questions about my surf foot or any of my other feet, but this one has been my go-to leg for surfing.